You bringing a gun to try to intimidate a bully isn't going to do anything but make it worse. The jacket ain't worth your life. The shoes wasn't worth your life. The clothes, the shirt, the shit you gave previously wasn't worth your life. Nothing is worth your life. Just, next time just give it up. Terrence leaves out. Next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. Gunshots. These gunshots rang out. We're running around being grown, being adult. People don't have that kind of support, which is how they end up in shoes like Damian was wearing. Oh shit, I need that other phone. Happy Valentine's Day. Well, it's the side chick Valentine's Day. How y'all doing? Y'all like my pink robe? I decided to wear pink for y'all because I believe tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So I decided to wear pink for y'all. And then I still have my little pink heart bear that my mother, see the heart on his tushy right here. My mother gave this to me like 14, 15 years ago. And I've always kept it with me. It's always been my little teddy bear that I keep near and dear to my heart. Then my sugar bear got me these on one Valentine's Day. So they stay here. Do y'all like the new setup? If you guys watch With Your Old Ass Podcast, you'll get to see the full setup for where my co-host sit and everything. But do y'all like the new setup? The fact that I'm sitting in a chair versus sitting on the couch, all slouched down, hurting my body more. Cause child, if y'all don't know, your girl been going through it, okay? And need to get some physical therapy done. So it's been a lot going on. But y'all didn't come here to hear about my problems. Y'all came here to hear about a TV show or a character or something. So, as requested for Real Talk with Tay, TV shows edition, Mr. Bellamy had requested that I watch a episode of the TV show called ROC. And I was glad he suggested this one because this one was a little bit different than all the other episodes I've ever watched. Because it kind of shed light on some real life things that happened back in the day and that are currently happening. So, and ironically, it kind of sort of goes with the idea of love, but not in the sense of Valentine's Day love. It ain't got nothing to do with that. But I did take notes because, little notes is always good to have, and I've been stressed out and dealing with a lot. So, yeah, that's that. Let me go find this note because for some reason it's not where it's supposed to be. Here it goes. All right. So once again, this is Real Talk with Tay, TV shows edition. This is the pre-Valentine's Day. That's why I got on this pink robe. You know what I'm saying? It's nice and comfy too. But anyway, the episode or the season episode we're talking about is season 3, episode 14. Terence Got a Gun. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of recap a little bit of the show real quick before I get into characters, issues, things I saw, things I disagree with, things I agree with, and stuff like that. So basically, it opens up with us seeing ROC and his wife talking to each other. They got a brand new baby and all this other jazz. His brother, ROC's brother, Joey Emerson, and he calls him Emerson versus calling him Joey, but Joey comes in and ROC's like, trying to get his rent money, whatever case may be. Apparently Joey don't like to pay his rent on time, so he always got to ask him for his rent money. They have a little conversation back and forth. And then Sheila, which I'm not sure, I have to watch this show from the beginning to the end for me to know exactly how they got Sheila, but I'm assuming Sheila is a child either they adopted or that they are helping take care of, because she calls him Mr. Emerson as if that's, well, not as if, but calls him Mr. Emerson because that's not her dad. And Sheila's not her mom, I'm assuming. But anyway, so, Sheila called, Mrs. Emerson, Eleanor. Eleanor is ROC's wife. Anyway, so Sheila brings a boy over, Terrence, and ROC's upset about the whole ordeal, and he's like, I don't like that, she should be hanging around boys, and blah, blah, blah. So ROC's like, I'm gonna go interrogate the little dude. When he goes to go interrogate the little guy, he finds out that Terrence's grandfather was his trash man back in the day, so he gives Terrence a break. Well, Terrence and Sheila both go to school together, and they were working on homework that day. They went to school the next day, and there's this guy that doesn't even go to their school, this bullying Terrence, has been taking Terrence's clothes, shoes, and all this other stuff. So, Terrence and Sheila were in the hallway when he approached him again. Some kid named Damian had approached him again, tried to bully him again, and this time Terrence pulled out a gun. And Damian was like, okay, this ain't over with, but you got it for now. Sheila's like, what the heck? Like, she didn't judge him or anything, and she didn't run and leave him by himself, but she did, be like, what the heck are you doing? Like, that's not the type of person you should be having a gun on or pulling a gun on. So Terrence was like, hey, he won't get off my back. I got to do something. And she's like, yeah, but that's not the way to handle it, which we'll get to that in a second. Fast forward, Terrence and Sheila go back to the house, and Terrence and Sheila trying to hurry up and run into the kitchen to start working on homework because they know that gun is in his book bag. Well, Eleanor takes his book bag, puts it on the table. They act all fidgety. Or on the couch, not on the table, but on the couch. And I think ROC moved it, and they jumped again, acting all fidgety. And ROC like, what's in this book bag? So he goes and looks in the book bag, finds the gun. And him and Terrence have a real good conversation. He pretty much tell Terrence the truth. You bringing a gun to try to intimidate a bully isn't going to do anything but make it worse. He's going to feel threatened and punked. So now he has to show his crew he ain't threatened or punked. And then if he's, got a crew, now you got to go up against him and his crew. You made a bigger problem for yourself than just giving up the damn jacket, And he was like, the jacket ain't worth your life. The shoes wasn't worth your life. The clothes, the shirt, the shit you gave previously wasn't worth your life. Nothing is worth your life. Just, next time just give it up. So I guess they go to school the next day. Terrence got rid of the gun. He comes in to apologize and have a conversation, blah, 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 blah. So before that incident happened, let me jump back to something else that kind of connects to this situation at hand. Sorry, my arm hurts. I need to stop waving it back and forth like that. ROC had went to Joey's apartment to collect his rent, got his rent, and then some from Joey. Came back because Joey was throwing a party. Really what he was doing was throwing a charity party to try to get some money to build I think it was a music school for the kids so they can have something to do to get them off the streets. So ROC ended up going to Joey's party, and he came up there, gave him a good idea, ended up having to donate $100 of the money he just took from Joey to the, musical institution he was trying to help, that Joey's trying to help build to get the kids off the street, right? And the reason why I say this kind of ties back into this situation with Terrence is because after that happened, that's when the whole, he came to apologize to Mr. Emerson and Mrs. Emerson. Well, when him and ROC was talking for a little bit, he forgave him. He asked, he told ROC he was going to get some ice cream for him and Sheila before they started doing their homework. And Eleanor told ROC to give him some money. ROC gave him like $2 or $3, something like that. And, Terrence leaves out. Next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. Gunshots. Gunshots rang out. And Terrence gets shot and killed. Point blank in the period. And the reason why I said that what Joey was doing connects back to Terrence, because had kids like Damian had other sources or other outsources to go to besides turning to gangs and violence, Terrence probably never would have got killed. Terrence probably never would have had that gun. Terrence probably never would have been getting bullied by Damian. A kid that doesn't even go to school, right? And at the end of the show, ROC does a monologue, if you will, about gun violence, gang violence, violence in general, and has that conversation. Now, ROC is an older show, of course. I think the show was released either in the 90s or in the early 2000s. Let me double check. Yes, it was in the 90s. It was in 91. And we don't have shows like that anymore, like where they're giving you at the end of the show hotline numbers you can call if you need help, and websites you can go to if you need help. We don't have shows to do that anymore. So I kind of like that about seeing that show, that was how it was in the 90s. But some of the things that did stand out to me, because ROC did go try to talk to Damian's mother, and she hadn't seen her son in I don't know how long. And what stood out to me about this episode was the fact that these kids were running around being grown, being adults, and doing adult things that they should have never been doing. And it led to a child losing his life because he tried to defend himself. And then the problem I have with Terrence's situation is, if Terrence's family didn't know that he was getting bullied at school, or they didn't know that he was, getting his clothes and shit snatched from him, I personally feel that they should have caught something, and this just goes to show that parents, and teachers and peers, please pay more attention to your people, because had Sheila spoke up about Terrence getting bullied to ROC before Terrence brought a gun, because Sheila clearly knew that Damian was picking on him, right? So let's say Sheila would have went and told ROC beforehand, because Terrence is too afraid or too macho to go and tell, right? It's a strong possibility ROC probably could have helped squash that situation. Maybe, maybe not. But he definitely could have talked Terrence in to not using weapons as a way to defeat a bully. You know what I mean? And another thing about watching that episode that resonated with me was that a lot of people don't have that kind of support, which is how they end up in shoes like Damian was wearing. Nothing Damian did was okay, and it was much respect to ROC for trying to get involved. But I think the biggest issue with the situation is ROC knew where that was going to lead. He knew where that was going to get Terrence. And honestly, I feel like he should have involved with the authorities, because Terrence didn't go to that school. Not Terrence, I'm sorry. Damian didn't go to that school. Terrence went to that school, but Damian was like some grown ass kid damn near. He's like 18 years old. I would have went to the authorities and had the authorities looking for him, because now that he's killed this kid, now he's looking at going to prison for murder. Now he's looking at potentially murdering somebody else. Now he's potentially looking at being murdered by the authorities, because he's going to be looked at as armed and dangerous. So it probably would have been a little bit better to maybe get authorities involved if it was possible. But let's be realistic, in the 90s, they probably would have killed Damien either way. Probably, because it's the 90s. Um, but another thing that kind of pissed me off is, how did the school keep allowing such grown man walk into a school that doesn't even go there and keep harassing a child that does go to school there? I didn't understand that. It really, and I get this. It's a TV show, so they were trying to show, the dynamics of what being bullied can lead to. But that really, really threw me off, that that grown ass kid was making it in that school. I was like in awe. All in all, it was a good episode. It was worth the watch. I definitely want to like kind of watch that show from the beginning, like season 1 to 2, completion of season 3, just because I kind of want to see more of it, because I don't remember watching ROC growing up. The show looked very familiar when I actually like was watching see that episode. I was like, this show looks very, very familiar. And the girl who plays Sheila is Kim Fields' little sister. And I can't think of their mother's name, but I know Mr. Bellamy's gonna tell me because he knows a lot. I can't think of Kim Fields and the little sister's name right now. I cannot think of her name right now, but I can't think of neither one of them, the mother's name or the younger daughter's name. I'm drawing a blank on both of their names. But yeah, I mean, it was a good episode, honestly. And I appreciate you guys for rocking with me and sticking around for at least the Black History things. I know I haven't dropped any episodes of Real Talk with Tay for you guys in a long time, and I do apologize. But I'm back. I'm still in my healing stages. I'm still fighting that good fight. And I still have all the hope in the world, because I'm not a quitter. Um, but I do want to get back 100% to being me. And yeah, come back next week for another episode. I'm gonna give you a heads up ahead of time. Next week's episode is actually going to be me discussing Will Smith's character on Fresh Prince of Bel Air. That episode might be a little bit longer than this one, just solely because there was a lot of key points that I kind of want to touch about the Fresh Prince, certain seasons and certain episodes, and certain key things that kind of help form the visualization of Will Smith's character, Will in the Fresh Prince. But in the meantime, in between time, y'all stay peaceful, stay blessed, and stay black, baby. Peace out. And yes, that is the outro to my Let's Talk Black History segment. I just love saying it. Just like my howdy do, howdy day, it's your homegirl Tay. I like saying that too. But y'all be peaceful. Peace out.